album concept hour. The album concept hour. It's the album concept hour.
Buy a camera and start a YouTube channel and we'll talk.
All right. So, anyways, American Idiot.
I was gonna say I think we have an album here that we got to discuss, right?
We got something we got to talk about, right?
Yeah. So this is the album concept hour, and in this podcast we listen to concept albums and we try to break them down and decipher them and figure out what it is they're trying to say in all of these epic, weird albums. But I am your host, Brad LeBaron, and I am joined, as always, by my co-hosts,
Jon A.
And then we have
Jon G.
And then here we have to my right,
Scotty,
not Scott A. Just in case. Yeah, it's Scott. What's your last initial again? W. Scott W. Yeah, I'm Brad. Brad L.
Figured that I didn't have to do a last initial because I'm the only.
Well, the Johns are doing it. Like they just feel left out.
I mixed it up a little bit. Scotty.
My initials are actually JLA, so they call me the Justice League.
Oh, dude, JLA, that's pretty
You
good.
had to go there.
Nice.
Always.
Yeah, Saw's pretty good too. Oh, is that why you like that series so much?
Probably, yeah. It's just part of who I am.
Mine's BKL Buckle. Yeah. What about you, John?
JDG.
JDG.
I don't know.
Isn't that an MMA fighter?
Junior Dos Santos is what you're thinking. JDS.
Yeah, I think you're right.
JDG. Jesus do good.
Well, yeah, now that you guys have all of our initials, you guys can take your guesses on what our middle names
and my
are.
social security number is...
Oh, here's our socials, addresses,
Birthdays,
favorite pet. You got that?
Favorite color.
High school you went to.
Street you grew up on.
First grade teacher.
Anyway,
What was my first car?
So this week we are doing the album American Idiot by Greenday.
Oh, sorry.
Oh, yeah, no, different one. But this is it came out in 2004, and this was Jon G's pick. Jon G, what is your connection to this album? Why?
I think it was the first album I got on CD. It definitely was the first album I got with the parental advisory.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I had to listen to it with my dad.
Yeah.
My mom bought it for me. Then when I got home, my dad was like, "We have to listen to that together." Parental advisory.
Yeah. I wanna know what you are consuming.
Yeah. Hey, he liked it, and it was totally cool. But
yeah, he thought it was.
I listened to this album back to front.
Yeah.
So many times.
Yeah.
It's awesome. And it's a great representation of the time, and it got me into punk music or pop punk or whatever you want to call it.
Well, yeah, and the parental advisory thing, with this album in particular, I remember so many radio edits. Those are the versions I remember more.
I think he says "fuck" almost every song.
And what's funny is
he's got some other choice words in there as well.
Yes, there's a lot of non-PC words that he uses.
Faggot.
Yeah, that's one of them. Quoting Greenday, of course. There's he's got a real way with words. I thought, for instance, in the first track he was saying, in the American Idiot song, he was saying Aryan Nation, not Alien Nation. I was like, dude, yeah, word. He's going real hardcore about this.
Aryan.
Yeah, calling America an Aryan Nation. I'm yeah.
No.
But no, he's saying Alien Nation.
His accent's pretty hard to understand.
Yeah, the Billy Joe Armstrong accent. Billy Joe Armstrong accent.
Famously misheard lyrics.
Side note: huge advantage to this kind of thing and looking at the lyrics yourself.
Yes.
You learn what you've been mumbling through.
I recommend
for the last 5 years that you've been singing a song.
Well, pretty much any Green Day album, the lyrics are probably going to be helpful. There's a lot of words that he says different than most of us.
Yeah.
But this was a really important album though when we were growing up. I was in early. Well, I think I was maybe this was my freshman year of high school. But I was.
About right.
Yeah, it was a really weird time. It was right after we invaded Iraq because of the weapons of mass destructions that weren't there. And so he's responding to a lot of angst in the American people and a lot of like really heavy topics that were going on in people's minds at the time. And this is definitely easily the most popular album about like anti-Bush, post 9/11 music, and there was a lot of it. Right. Like I remember like in high school, it was like that's what's like different about
that was what popular like talk was.
Well, it's what's interesting to me about this album is like back then, like the way that we like like Bush opponents dealt with Bush was to create a lot of media that was anti-Bush. Like there was that show on Comedy Central about the little Bush and his cabinet and stuff, which is like different a little bit from today with like Trump or whatever. Not to get like political, but like there's not like a whole bunch of like rock against Trump albums out.
No.
But when this was out, there was like a rock. I remember there
really
being like punk
bled
against
well
Bush
into
and like
the
yeah. It was really popular to be anti-Bush. I mean, for not going to get into it, but
still,
I'm kind of anti the other Bush.
The older one.
Vagina?
No, the Bush.
Are you talking
senior?
about the band?
No, the Bush.
The Bush.
Oh,
senior?
I'm pro. I'm actually pro, so we might have few disagreements
What are we
here.
talking about?
I like a little
Bush.
trim.
The Bush.
they
I like a
Bush.
little trim.
The Bush.
Oh, I like the Bush.
I love the Bush.
But
It's fun. I like Bush.
I'm
mess
But I
with
don't
his
think-
own
I don't mind
whatever.
going through a little
Yeah,
bush to
I don't-
get to the green.
I don't think
so.
that's the Bush he's talking about, though.
I'm a big fan of the Bush.
He's talking
actually.
about the
That was
W,
a
the big
whole
W.
album dedicated to not liking the pubic bush.
Okay, that could be it. But
So anyway,
but what's interesting about this album though is although it is very like anti-Bush, post 9/11, in our like memory of it, like in the cultural sphere. Are you all right over there?
Please don't puke
It's
on me.
it's not
That was
as much
hell
about
of a
that
run
as I
there.
thought. It's not as much about 9/11 and stuff as I thought. Like, there's actually a lot more to this album than just like
Dead parents.
being mad about
really, it
you
really.
know,
And remember, you can place yourself in the thing too. It's very like.
yeah. It's pretty relatable. It's about the American dream.
It's a story
and stuff.
album, It's an American fairy tale.
Yeah, definitely. What's up, John?
We're good.
You got something to say, bud?
No, we're good.
All right.
I didn't say anything.
All right. I'm just checking.
He's just
I'm
chuckling.
I'm just checking in over
I'm
there.
just trying to like figure out how I'm gonna do this.
How are you going to
Can't
drink
believe
those? In which order you are going to drink those? Are those 3 different beers open at the same time?
Yes.
Nice. Well, we'll get
That
to
is
those.
what you
We'll
are
get
viewing, sir.
Hey,
we'll get to
Jon
those in a
A.
minute.
it's
What
so
he's
bad.
actually
Try one of
drinking.
those beers.
Yeah, you can.
I've never had one, and I'm kind of curious.
It's
All right.
not. It's not
We're
great.
not. All right.
It's
We're not at.
cheap.
We're not at. What are we drinking yet?
So gross.
But this is a sneak
Especially
peek.
with these
We're
two.
passing around drinks.
It's disgusting.
It's not good.
So
I'm
bad.
gonna give it a shot.
All right.
It's strong though.
If,
Well,
if
listen,
I'm
guys.
drinking just this, then that's fine.
When we
Sorry.
get to what are we drinking, he will give us his
I'll be
review.
passed out by then.
Yeah, you guys need to give us your review on what he just handed you. Okay.
Sounds good.
But the first track we'll get into it is American Idiot. Most everyone has heard this track.
Don't generalize.
I guess, yeah. I don't know. Millennials might not. I don't know.
You haven't heard the song if you're an American idiot.
No, not at all.
Generalizations.
But this is
Welcome
the
to the
clip that we
alien
picked.
nation.
Yeah, Aryan Nation.
Aryan.
One nation controlled by the media. Information age of hysteria. It's going out to idiot America. Welcome to a new kind of tension all across the alien nation. Everything is amazing.
Did you guys hear it? Aryan Nation?
No.
I don't
Okay.
know.
All right.
I've always
Just,
heard
just
alien
checking. Just
nation.
checking.
I don't know what I'm hearing half the time, so I'm just kind of flowing with it.
Yeah. It's definitely good to have the lyrics
I do
here.
like the song. It's it's iconic and it's a hard hitter to start the album, and it's kind of it's to me it seems like they're talking about the brainwashed world of being
Exactly.
sucked in by
It's
the
got a very
media
youthful
and,
energy
you know.
to it.
Yeah. It's a really just powerful, like instantly just start to finish, just like gung ho song.
Really, really talking about the problems too.
Yeah.
Like television dreams of tomorrow.
Yeah, and it's
We're
before
not the ones who were meant to follow.
Yeah, and a lot like some of the other albums we've listened to, it's like a track that's a little outside the story. It's like the prologue, kind of, you know.
Yeah.
It's weird that
It's telling you why this person is feeling what they're feeling. Really, it is. Like he's expressing like, I don't want to be an American idiot. I don't want to be brainwashed.
Yeah, he
by
doesn't.
the media, by the government.
Uh-huh.
I want to be myself.
Yeah. What's up, John?
Oh, I was just gonna say I really like verse 2 because it's like the first part's about the two different parties, and then the second part's just about people following both parties and like being brainwashed by the political system.
That's true. He's using a slur for both sides.
Yep.
Because he uses
That's
the
clever. I didn't
faggot
think
for
about that.
FGGT word.
Faggot.
You know what's funny is I accepted that like as like the premise, but I never thought about why that was like.
Well, he's saying
why
like
they
maybe
were
I'm a
named like that.
Democrat.
But no,
I'm
maybe I'm a
but-
Republican.
Well, but
That
he's not
makes
even,
sense.
and he's not even just saying like necessarily like Republican Democrat as much as just like the
Like, away from
opposing
philosophy.
side.
well the
you know?
caricatures that each side makes for the other. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Like he's kind of demonstrating that they're both flinging shit at each other at this moment.
And then now everybody do the propaganda.
Yeah, right. Yeah,
The age
that was
of
a
paranoia.
Oh my God, they're great. It's just great songwriting. It's
Well, he has
great
he has an interesting way with words that I don't know how to describe it, but Billy Joe Armstrong is like just a weird way of talking about things. But yeah, and it's this is something we all relate to. Like if you've lived through like 9/11, like welcome to a new kind of tension.
Oh, absolutely.
That's like my favorite line in the whole.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
a good
A
line.
new kind of tension.
Yeah, yeah. That's something that comes up a lot throughout this album is just, looking back, having lived through 9/11 and then like 2 decades after that, just about like how it's all still ongoing and shit, and we're still kind of in like the tail end of, what he's singing about. So yeah, there's a lot of really, depressing moments because of that.
I mean, the whole chorus has like its own, like each line has its own meaning too, like own like double meaning.
Yeah, yeah.
Like,
Everything isn't meant to be okay.
everything isn't meant to be.
Yeah,
and that's
yeah.
when we were just like by 2004, that's what everybody was telling us too at the time.
Like stuff's like there's stuff that's messed up, but like it's fine because like we need it for the greater good or whatever. But like that's not really the whole picture, But yeah, one nation controlled by the media. That's like definitely a very forward-thinking line from like from today's perspective.
Yeah, because back then, that was kind of like the outbreak of social media and
and the 24-hour news cycles
like
and
the
stuff.
media back then wasn't anything compared to what it is now. So you
No,
think
you
about
really-
like how
Yeah.
brainwashed
You really could call the
people
kind
are
of time
now.
we're
It's
living
so much
in
different,
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're still living in the legacy of what this is all talking about. Information age of hysteria. I mean, I think that's definitely applicable. But yeah, no, it's definitely like it's laying it all out. What his kind of broad problems are with his country right now. And it's weird too because like this was also kind of early cable internet, so I always think of that as like a turning point, kind of in how people are thinking about the world and things.
Yeah, that was kind of the turning point of everything.
This was
bigger
like
and
right
faster
before the
and
internet
more
like
wireless.
blew
Yeah.
up. Right when people were really starting to like, everybody's having this from adults to kids to college kids.
and you can
everybody's using this thing now.
Well, and you can hear about what news that's happening on the other side of the world in like seconds now.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it really
It's a
changed.
whole different thing.
Yeah, it changed. A lot of how we looked at
Our
world
culture
politics.
is completely different.
Yeah. So, before we get into too big of topics here, let's get into Jesus of Suburbia. It's a really long song, and we had to pick, a really small clip, but it's a song that's got 5 parts. So this is an album that's very much a classic concept album with parts, and it became a musical at some point. Anyway, I'm gonna stop talking and get to Jesus of Suburbia. well, that kind of was talking a little bit about what I was just talking about when he says from the something to the Middle East. What is it?
From
Oh yeah, here it is from the Anaheim, the Middle
yep.
East. Yeah, so like it's it's
like
a time
talking
where
California to the Middle East.
you're people are like seeing like that's more complicated than what the news may be telling them. But yeah, the kids of War and Peace. Like it's just like we're just the we're just the kids that are born into this whole thing and thrown into it. And it's kind of what his album's about in general. But
it's pretty much about
Well,
growing
see-
up in our era, like
Mm-hmm.
especially in the beginning. He's like, I don't want to be an American idiot, but I also don't want to be this
Mhm.
stuck in between of everything that's going on.
yeah,
It really is though. Like we are a generation of war and peace because we had a great sense
More
of
the
peace after World War II. Like despite
Well,
the fact that
at
we
home,
went to other
yeah.
wars, we always felt safe at home.
Well, we had,
And then
yeah.
after this, so we are really a generation of we've known great peace and we've known great war.
Yeah, well, we've known
like great, and
a certain
but
kind
the
of
peace was really
like,
good though.
Yeah, well, yeah, we had peace at home while
peace at home.
doing really
we were
bad
doing shitty
stuff
stuff
abroad
outside
to maintain that
but
peace.
People in the country
yeah.
felt safe that we were.
Yeah. And like the 70s was probably the like peak of that, I think, and then it kind of has been going a little down since then. Anyway, but there's a lot of parts to this. He's going, he starts out on the son of rage and love, so he's like obviously a very, unbalanced emotional person, and his society isn't really helping him figure things out.
The Bible of none of the above.
Yeah. Like it's just something that it's like there's nothing he can relate to really in this day and age with the currently what's being told to him.
Yeah, I saw in a later song that in one of the descriptions it was saying that Saint Jimmy is the reason that he is the son of rage because it's his like father.
Oh, okay.
It mentions that he's like the son of Saint Jimmy or something. That's like his kind of alter ego. That he got from his father.
Oh yeah. Kind of getting into that some of that like Freudian stuff where like you're kind of like some people are like trying to impress their dad their whole lives.
Yeah.
In like other male figures or something.
Right.
But yeah, it's like a specter that's like affects your day-to-day life if you have maybe a bad relationship with your dad.
Right. Always trying to do the best to not make him angry.
Yeah. Maybe if trying to make him proud of you, and he's not someone that will necessarily give that.
Right.
Yeah.
Parental relationships can be hard.
Yeah, definitely, and especially like with some parents in the U.S. they're working like 40 hours a week or something, and working a couple of jobs, and sometimes they don't have time for a relationship with their kids, and that could be a way this happens too, but yeah, he says like on a steady.
And everyone's pissed when they come home from work.
Yeah. I'm from Beloit, so I grew up with a lot of people that had like just difficult home situations, and like they kind of had to mostly raise themselves. So, but yeah, like on a steady diet of soda pop and Ritalin. That's a very like timely.
It really is.
Yeah,
crazy.
because this is like the tail end
so
of like
true.
That was
the
me
Ritalin.
when this album was out. That was me.
You were on Ritalin?
I was on Adderall. But
Yeah. Oh yeah, Adderall is like that was
It's
the
the
next
same-
like
it's the same.
next step past Ritalin, I think.
No.
But yeah, Ritalin like was being like way overprescribed
it was
back
every-
then.
yeah.
It's so
for sure.
funny because it's literally saying sugar and Ritalin.
Well, yeah, exactly. That was what the like prescription was for like your problems as an adolescent at the time.
Yeah.
That's what like all the doctors would be like.
Attention
Oh well,
deficit.
yeah, you got
Everyone's
ADD.
ADHD.
Take your Ritalin, and the soda is just That's just America right there.
Yeah.
Take as
Every
much
kid
sugar
was
in as you
drinking
possibly
soda.
can.
Mountain
We
Dew.
won the game. We're going to Pizza Hut.
Yeah.
Everybody's getting a soda.
Fun fact, some places in the world, most places in the world, Mountain Dew doesn't exist because it's too extreme for them.
That's true. I've heard that, actually.
Yeah.
Some countries do not like caffeine and such.
Yeah, no, we're definitely one of the craziest nations when it comes to like energy.
We love our
anything.
corn.
Well, we like our
all kinds.
stimulants, is what we
We
like.
like our
Well.
stuff.
We need our stimulants to make us work. But
They won't let us use cocaine
and
anymore.
we need caffeine. And
No,
Yeah.
literally, the creation of energy drinks and stuff
Oh,
like
what?
Red Bull
Moms and Brads are away.
is literally because they took away
fuck?
cocaine from
Poor
us.
Brads.
We're like, we need
I don't know,
something.
man.
Brad's, what are you doing away?
Hold on, guys. Hold on. It says my name in this song. What the fuck? Apparently, I guess they're just using Brads for like bad
Is that kind of
dates?
like the modern day Chads?
I guess. Huh. Weird. Anyway, he says, get my
Weird,
television
bro.
fixed, sitting on my crucifix, the living room in my private womb, while the moms and Brads are away. I feel personally attacked. But
I guess you got to get out, Brad. Sorry.
yeah. But I think he just means like maybe shitty stepdad
Yeah,
types.
it's like
Yeah.
mom's boyfriends.
Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure. But yeah, I like the line to fall in love and fall in debt. Like that's to alcohol and cigarettes, and Mary Jane to keep me insane doing someone else's cocaine. Like it's like a very working class like life he's laying out right here.
Yeah.
You know, just living from paycheck to paycheck, trying to get
Sounds
like
a lot
fun
of
where you
people I
can.
know, you know.
Yeah, it's a lot of people we know. You know, like this is.
This is the story of the everyman.
Yeah, if you work, especially if you worked in like fucking food service, you know.
Food service,
Yeah.
retail, or any
Uh-huh.
kind of like
All those
labor
menial
job.
jobs.
Oh yeah. We've all had them, but there's what's up, guys?
Peeing in a can.
Oh yeah. You just had to take a little piss. That's fine.
Tinkle, tinkle.
I was gonna say part one though. Part one, I noticed was a very like classic Green Day sound. Like they go from like American Idiot to like a really punk rock like part of that song, and then like the second song really kind of just all the parts like as they go through each other kind of sets us up for like the rest of the album, and how it ebbs and flows. But
You really feel like they kind of found this place and they're like, we're making our own.
yeah,
Rule this town.
yeah.
We'll go.
We'll turn the city of the dead into
We'll
the
go
city
to
of the damned.
we'll go to the government.
Well, yeah, like he's
Those
becoming like disillusioned with like just everything throughout this song. You know what I mean? Like he goes through like, this part's like deindustrialization with like the end of damned city at the end of a highway that's just like fucking, dead now and there's no work. And then part 3, he's kind of like talking about more of the American dream. And like, being
I
raised by
don't
hypocrites. And this has got the line that we chose actually is, kids of war and peace from Anaheim to the Middle East. But yeah, and by the end of the song, he's like rejected, everything he's grown up with. You know what I mean? And he's kind of trying to. He's lost faith, I guess, if you want to call it that. Jesus of suburbia.
Yes.
What are you guys' thoughts?
I mean, this is really just like an epic that leads into what is the meat of the album.
That's true.
This is the story. This
Yeah.
is the story of the American idiot who becomes the Jesus of suburbia and leaves his little summer.
And then he has like a midlife crisis.
And then he goes,
Yeah.
he goes, he goes
It's
in,
kind of like a midlife crisis.
and he sees a lot of shit on the way, but he decides to have the time of his life, and he's gonna make something of himself, and he tries.
Yeah, definitely. Oh, and I
Then it
one
kinda,
more line I wanted to mention. I lost my faith to this town that don't exist, so I run away the lights of masochists. So this is a line that I like really liked because I think when he's saying masochists, I don't know, to me he seems like he's talking about people that like are killing themselves to like work like a job that's not worth it, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like he's like, I'm not going to do that, you know? And like because they, you know, take great pride in like, oh, you know, I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing, like I'm breaking my back for the company. And it's like, you know, often the company doesn't care about them as much.
They just see dollar signs.
Yeah. But yeah, I thought that was a really, I you know, like I said, I love his just choice of words in general. But let's get to the meat of this, though. Speaking of the meat of this, this is Holiday. This was the real jam.
The representative from California has the floor. Seek out to the president, gas man. Pumped away is your punishment. Pulverize the Eiffel Towers.
Government.
I just love how he says Sieg Heil.
Yeah, you know, and I don't think I knew that. I don't think I knew that to the listen through. I think
I didn't
that
even
when
know
we were
he
picking
said
clips.
President Gasman.
Yeah.
And that's got me, you know.
But I did think they said Aryan Nation. You know, that's weird. I didn't hear the Sieg Heil.
You are the old who heard.
It would have fit though, like with this line. No, you know, whatever. But
yes, it would have.
yeah, I always thought that breakdown was a little cheesy when I first heard it, like growing up. You know, when I saw it in the music video, I was like, huh.
I don't know. I mean,
An
I always
odd
kind of
little-
liked
odd little
it.
breakdown.
I just always kind of liked the mockery of the political system. You know, the representative from California has the floor.
Yeah, it's fun.
I don't know. I always enjoyed it.
Yeah, well, you know, I was in a weird like state with this album because like I was in a you know Christian pop punk band, and they were definitely not about American Idiot because they were, you know, all very very gung ho about, you know, Bush. So I don't know. I was kind of like, it was one of this was an album that I kind of like liked, and I like secretly, but I wouldn't admit it to myself or anyone, you know, because like, you know, they would always just be talking shit about it at all times. And then other people like thought that it was like, it's weird. Like some people like thought that they sold out, like their actual fans thought they sold out, and then like, you know, other people just didn't like it because it was like too political, you know. But like looking back, I mean, it's a fantastic album.
It really is.
Yeah, and really captures
I like every
a
song
moment.
on the album.
I think people just got sick of it, like because it was just overplayed, like The Wall.
Yeah, no,
You know?
for sure.
Well, it became one of the biggest things at the time.
Yeah, it really
You know?
it was.
It was a very good statement, done very well.
Yeah,
You know, engineered very well.
it was on the pulse of the zeitgeist, right? But yeah, that's just a really
You know, I feel like this verse especially is like, that's the kind of person every punk emo kid in the nation wanted in government. That's what they wanted them to stand up into the mic and say, you know, fuck you, government.
Yeah,
you know, like
yeah. It's a very like
it's a
yeah.
character. You know, it
Uh-huh,
it
uh-huh.
really is like
yeah. It voices frustration. Yeah, because like
that's who
yeah, if you
every
were around
kid.
at the time, even as someone in like junior high, I was like, I don't quite understand why we're going to war, but okay, you know, like it was all very confusing. It was a very weird time to be sentient.
It really didn't have the
Conscious, I
support. It was the first war in a long time that really there was like not majority
But it
American
was
support for it.
well, yeah. I
Anyway,
mean,
sorry.
Yeah,
I'm done,
yeah.
I'm done.
But yeah, it's you know, he's talking about hollow lies, and oh yeah, we were talking about this before. How this line really sucks. This is the dawning of the rest of our lives. Like,
Which is really sad because it goes into Boulevard of Broken Dreams.
yeah.
Well, this, as it's been stated, you know, this Boulevard is like the hangover to Holiday. Holiday is
yeah.
all your energy that you have for your cause, that you're not
Yeah.
all of it, but like, you know, like you're putting it all on the line. You're there. it's go or give or go now. It's like
Go big or
Yeah.
go big or go home.
Well, yeah, it seems like in this song he's like he's all getting involved in as much like protest as he can and fighting the system and like maybe following a lot of like different leaders that are inspiring him, but ultimately it's not enough for him, and he gets down to walking down the boulevard of broken dreams.
I walk a lonely road, the only one.
I love that guitar work.
Ever know.
Yeah, we wanted to include the transition between the two songs for that
Very
one.
iconic intro. Like,
It is.
It's
most
yeah.
people when they hear that, they're like, "Oh yeah."
You're like, oh shit.
It's got like
it's
the
coming.
echo. And
It's
stuff.
like
Yeah.
it's meant to roll. Like if you listen to the album as a whole, it's meant like Holiday is meant to roll like
Looks
melodically
like a lot of the songs
right
that they composed, they
into
did that because I
Yeah,
see
yeah.
on the track list, a lot of them were like hyphened or whatever.
yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot of the track listing for this. There's 9 on
Songs are-
Spotify and 13 on iTunes. iTunes separates it out, but
They do a good job of linking the two tracks to make them like
yeah,
damn near flawless. So.
yeah, and the music videos I think linked to each other too.
The clip that we got, I really like that opening guitar part. 'Cause
Yeah.
It's very reminiscent of the Who to me.
Yeah, I
Like
could see that.
there's some tracks where the Who had that kind of like
Yeah, I can see that. It reminds me of like some early '90s guitar stuff.
Yeah.
I don't know what exactly, but
Well, I can see that as well.
yeah,
I think I've actually heard it probably in some 90s song.
yeah. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah,
Like maybe a '90s like dance tune or something.
yeah.
Yeah, that weird '90s dance
Yeah,
phase.
Like the '90s had this odd phase where they kind of just went off the rails for a little bit.
It was like right before 2000.
Yeah, they tried some
Yeah.
funky stuff.
Like everyone was like freaking out because like 2000
There
was
was
coming out.
there was so much stuff to mix. at
like
that
rock
point.
radio
There
at the
was so
time
many
was
different
more poppy, and it
influences.
was kind of
Yeah, everything was kind of poppy.
yeah, and then like there was like the '90s dance music.
Yeah.
which they had like these like
Do not forget
hits,
90s
like
pop, my friend.
the Now What I Call Music things. They had like
Uh-huh,
CDs
uh-huh.
like that, but for dance music.
Yeah, that was good stuff.
But I mean, it was
I
all
enjoyed
actually
that
pretty
stuff.
good. Like they had,
Yeah.
That's kind of where I feel like modern day like wedding songs and like fun like reception songs came from was like those '90s dance songs.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah. You'd hear him at the skating rinks.
There were a lot of '90s good ballads.
Yeah.
You know?
This
And
is
rock.
going to be another one of those episodes where we sound very old, much like in the the Black Parade one.
I don't know what you guys are talking
And John's like,
about.
roller rink? What the fuck's a roller rink?
Yeah, but you know when you used to carry your Walkman and your coat and
Yeah.
I did all that.
I had
On
friends
your
that that's all they
skates.
wanted to do.
I did that.
Yeah.
All
I
they
did
wanted
both
to do was
of
go
those.
to the roller rink.
That was one of my favorite places to hang out.
I used to
Very
just
much
ride
so.
my bike around town and just jam to it.
Mm.
Roller rink and the ice rink.
I never did the ice rink.
No, they liked going there in the winter.
Cap ice.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay.
That sucks.
One thing I thought was really funny about this song when it came out is the radio edit was just super funny because like instead of saying "what's fucked up," he says "what's nuffed up," and it's like it's really weird and like it's like they like take it in reverse and change the word or something. It's not natural.
What's fuffed up?
Yeah. It's very like
Doesn't feel right.
yeah. It was very strange to me. But yeah, there's a lot of editing on this album for the radio.
It's always weird when I hear edited music now because I listen to a lot of Pandora and YouTube music and whatever, and I listen to a lot of uncensored music. So when I listen to the radio or something and it's like a blatant cut where it's just like
Yeah, I don't like that.
I kind of
It's
miss
weird.
the old school ones where they were like beep, you know. And it was
Yeah, right. Sometimes
almost
I'd
kinda
prefer a
scared
beep
ya.
rather than an alternate
Yeah, I
lyric.
where they do like flip or like
The
just kind
beep doesn't have the same effect
Yeah.
anymore. That's the
Yeah.
problem.
Yeah, maybe very aware of radio edits. But this is a song that won the music video award at the MTV that year,
And it won the
over Mr. Brightside,
yes.
which like at the time I was very upset about because I was a huge Killers fan, and I thought Mr. Brightside was a better video than Boulevard of Broken Dreams. He's just walking around in Boulevard of Broken Dreams. Anyway,
It also won Record of the Year for that.
but yeah, there's like, American Idiot won a lot of awards. It was one of those things that just swept awards wherever it was at, you know. So
It's got the sweeps.
yeah, I was just a hater at the time. So I was like, yeah, Green Day, they're so political.
He was over there with this big like emo swoop in front of
Little
his hair.
closet.
Oh yeah,
Little closet Green Day fan.
straightening my hair before shows.
Black nails and
I did it every now and again. I had some friends that showed.
eyeshadow, emo.
Well, I wasn't like classic. I was like in a pop punk band, so I was like I couldn't dress like an emo kid fully. I wore the tight pants, but like it would.
I wore the tight.
He only did that because he liked how they felt.
They did feel pretty good.
So, anyways, the next song.
Yeah, I was gonna say good call. The next song is what is the next song? Are We the Waiting? Oh, this is a really nice one.
We are.
Yeah. Are
The
we
youth of the
are?
nation.
POD.
We didn't even have to look at the lyrics for that one.
Yeah, we all know that one.
Is a lie. And screaming, are
We are.
Yeah.
It still feels very poetic, though.
It
I like
is. It is. And it's to me it seems like a very U2 kind of
Influence
chorus
injected.
You know. Sounds like something that Bono would come up with. But
Have you ever heard of this word before? Soliloquy.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like it's like a speech or a person, a one person. Hamlet has a lot of soliloquies
Okay.
where he's like talking on his own to the audience.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah.
Never heard that word before, so
Yeah. It's some Shakespeare shit.
I'm digging it.
Yeah. But it's the Jesus of Suburbia is a lie. Is
You really feel like you're down in the dumps,
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
someone that
sitting
was
on
like-
the corner, just like.
This was someone
"Damn
that was
it."
growing up that didn't want to be an American idiot, and he was just hopeful that he could, make it and do something good.
Yeah,
And now
yeah.
he's realizing that he's falling on his ass.
Yeah,
and he's kind of
it didn't work.
not doing anything that he wanted to.
Yeah. He's kind of past like he's like a little past the depression from like the last song a little bit, but like he's just lost and contemplative now.
He's like
He's Frank
looking
Sinatra
up, he's like,
in that
"Are
whole
we the
other
waiting?"
album.
That whole
Yes,
And the
actually,
he's
the
like
rain is definitely
right now.
falling.
Yeah, he's in. What was the name of that one song with the color turquoise something?
Oh.
He's mood indigo.
Mood indigo.
This is his mood indigo.
Yes.
Yes. Call back. You weren't at that episode. Sorry. But you'll listen to it. Yeah, he's like, he's just like, oh man, like, what do we do now? And it's really like another one of those lines that really speaks to someone that grew up then is we are, the waiting unknown, and it's like we're at a part of our history where we really don't know what's going to happen next, and some of our
feel
friends
like-
and family might get caught up in it.
You feel like they know they're together, though. We are the waiting.
Well, yeah, like we
know,
that like didn't decide
we
to
all
be a part of it,
tried,
but we're sucked into
But
it.
we didn't. But we're still here. We're
Yeah.
still fighting.
Well, it kind of reminds me of that song by "Waiting on the World to Change."
Oh, waiting on the world.
yeah,
John Mayer.
John Mayer. Yeah. It's kind of a similar sentiment, I think, in this song. We're like waiting to see what's next.
Because we've all tried to do
Yeah.
something, but we
we're standing
haven't
at a
succeeded.
distance.
Yeah. And this is
We keep
before like
waiting.
Occupy and those kinds of things. I mean, this is really before there were like kind of bigger like protest movements or whatever. At least against like, like this is pre-recession. This is like before it all really came crack. Like the American dream kind of before our very eyes kind of came apart. That's kind of our lifetime.
Yeah, right. Meaningful.
Yeah,
It was painful to watch it at the ages that we were too.
well, I think
When we grew
yeah.
up in the 90s
Yeah.
with promises of you work
Better
hard,
days.
you study hard.
That's true. That's true.
This is what's gonna happen.
That's probably what's
And then it all semi collapsed like after
yeah
9/11.
yeah
It was a chain of events. It wasn't immediate or anything, but like it was just a whole chain of events in
yeah
America.
yeah.
Us watching that at our age just kind of broke our soul.
Yeah, because we were like,
we're like that
we're-
young.
we're-
We're like,
we're
did something
following
like this
this
really
path.
happen, and then it's like real, and you're like, what the fuck?
we're like following this
Well, yeah,
path that we think we're supposed to do, but then all of a sudden we're like, oh, but
Well, yeah, it
kinda
became
working, but
it
it's
became
not
very
what's
real
going
when like
on.
my brother joined the military and stuff, and like went over and and went through some shit. It was like, oh fuck, like this is gonna have an impact on us for a while, But yeah, it's a really weird place to be back then. But this next song, he kind of starts to find his gear again. He's going on to meet Saint Jimmy,
oh, Saint Jimmy.
which may or may not be him or
I'm pretty
something.
sure it's an
Saint
alter
Jimmy's a
ego.
confusing character.
Yeah,
He is Saint
yeah.
Jimmy.
Because it's like later in the album, it talks about how he's like he dies, and then the guy is kind of like reborn.
Huh.
So I feel like it's like an alter ego that he picks up that he doesn't
Maybe.
necessarily like.
I can't. I've had all these thoughts. I don't know what I have not. I have
Well,
no
that's the goal here. Then
concrete theory of Saint Jimmy.
I was gonna say that's the goal here. Is we're gonna get to the bottom of Saint Jimmy. All right. What do you think, John G? Who do you think Jimmy is? Saint Jimmy.
I don't know.
He's uncle. His father. Uncle's
Would you like
uncle
to
father.
Would you like to phone a friend?
Would you like to phone a friend?
Well,
We can call either of the Daves.
yeah,
We can call both Daves and see who gets it first.
that'd be funny.
We should get them both on
Yeah.
the podcast sometime.
That'd be actually really funny.
Yeah. But
Dave would pick up for you.
Oh, he always does.
yeah.
But yeah, I don't really. I mean, I don't know.
They bring up suicide a lot in this album. I noticed. I think that the main character does have like struggles with like suicidal thoughts because it comes up quite a bit.
Well,
I mean, he just lost all of his hopes and dreams.
yeah, the whole
Mhm.
world's collapsing around him.
Mhm.
He's lost all hope.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
that's why I feel like this is his alter ego. Like he
Uh-huh.
kinda goes through like the waves in this, where he's like gung ho in the
I guess
beginning
it
and
does
goes,
say
he
right
gets
here.
kind of
Yeah.
shit on, and now he's like, I'm ready. I'm the suicide commando now. I'm
Mhm.
here to represent the needle in the vein of the establishment. I'm ready to kick some ass.
So he's kind of going into his loner without a rebel without a cause kind of phase.
Yes.
Yeah,
Saint
yeah, yeah.
Jimmy is the I don't give a fuck. Let's
Uh-huh. Yeah, it's kind of a stage of
I tried
a lot
it
of,
through your way.
a lot of guys.
Your way didn't work.
Oh, I like the cigarettes and ramen and a little bag of dope. I am the son of a bitch and Edgar Allan Poe.
I feel like a lot of
I just
college
like- I
kids
just like
feel
that
like
line.
that.
Yeah, yeah. It's like I'm so poetic, but I'm a son of a bitch.
All I have is
I'm an
cigarettes and
asshole.
ramen.
Sound like
Little
Luis.
bag of dope. You go smoke the dope,
I
you eat the
do-
ramen, and then you have a cigarette.
I do love the familiarity he always has when it comes to like any marijuana thing. When he brings it up, it just feels so like intimate to him.
I feel like
You know?
he lived it too.
He definitely did. This guy is definitely a
the way
pothead.
He sings and writes this. He's definitely lived through
Like
phases.
these experiences, you mean?
these experiences, and like
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
he's writing it from the heart.
Yeah, I mean, he was in the throes of like pop punk when it was first becoming a thing or whatever. He's one of
like we relate to it, and we're like,
Yeah.
okay, yeah, this is totally real. But
Yeah.
like he's singing about it because he's been there too. He knows.
Mhm,
Like,
mhm.
and that's awesome that he's able to relate to
Yeah.
everyone else too.
Oh, let's actually listen to Saint Jimmy quick.
Son of a bitch and Edgar Allan Poe, raised in the city in the hero rise. For the death warfare that we've been victimized. From the patron side of the denial, with an angel face and a taste for suicidal.
I just had a thought too. Like, the people that are like loners that end up doing like their own political action and independent from anyone.
Extreme stuff.
Like the fact that he's calling himself Saint Jimmy is, I think, significant because like the people that do that usually think that they're in the right. They think that they're doing something for the greater good, and they act on their own.
Saint Jimmy is him over he's
So
gone over the cliff.
So I think maybe Saint Jimmy is also him kind of self-glorifying a little bit, maybe, like this new persona. Yeah. But I feel like we talked about this one a lot though before we got to the clip.
Yeah,
So
we kind of nailed the clip.
yeah,
actually,
we can kind of probably move on.
Yeah.
But he's created kind
Just
of a
remember,
new.
it's a comedy and a tragedy.
Yeah,
In
but
the words of the song.
so he's kind of created a new persona, which is a very old school Green Day sound too. Like the song like kind of goes back to that kind of the roots of Green Day, like angry, just pop punk,
Mm-hmm.
And then it goes right to this.
But it's political angry pop punk.
Yeah. And then, but it immediately goes to this kind of other feeling after that.
Again,
so.
we do not.
That's where you meet. What's her name?
Not quite. We're almost there. This is Give Me Novocaine.
Take away the sensation inside. Bittersweet migraine in my head.
He kind of sounds a little like Chester when Chester's trying to sing more poppy.
Oh man,
That's a good point.
shit, dude.
I see that.
You're right.
I definitely see
That's
that.
super sad.
I can see that.
Yeah. God, and now I just want to hear them like together. But
Yeah, that would have been cool if they would have done
yeah,
something.
right? Yeah. Someone make a mashup, all right?
I like how this song's really got an island vibe to it.
Yeah, it's very
Very easy
I
going.
feel like I'm like laying in a hammock, like just like trying to get rid of my pain and just.
Yeah.
it's almost well placed in the album because you're like halfway through and you're starting to get really depressed. Like you saw this guy go from rah 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 to man.
Uh-huh.
And now you get this song, and you're just like, oh, okay, this is nice. It's
Yeah,
nice.
yeah.
It's a nice break for my brain.
Right.
Yeah.
He's trying to ease the
not-
pain of all the crazy stuff that he's
Well, yeah,
been
he
through.
goes from like depression to anger to this. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Which makes sense.
Yeah. Like he's trying
It's pretty
to
standard human healing.
He knows anger
processes.
won't help.
Yeah.
He knows he's just gonna wallow in his pity,
Yeah.
and so you might as well try something else.
Medicate.
Yeah,
Medicate.
yeah. Now he's trying to use medication to kind of ease the pain, which a lot of people do when they're trying to stabilize in life. But what I think is really cool is it's really a very classic kind of Billy Joe Armstrong like lyrics when he's talking about like Novocaine and the swelling and toothache and headache and stuff. Like he's like, I didn't realize until we listened to this, but he's really all about like describing like bodily discomforts and the drugs associated with those things. Because he's got songs. He's got a lot of songs where he's talking about just doing random medicine, and not even always just drugs, but like medicine.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, he's kind of trying to like calm his I don't know, anxiety.
His own darn self down.
Yeah.
He's trying not to feel anything for a while.
Yeah.
He's kind of been coursing himself with feeling everything.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true.
Just about every
Sometimes
human
you just need to
emotion.
numb out
Now
and
he's
not
just
think about
numbing
everything.
himself out.
Mm-hmm.
He's done.
Yeah.
He's promised a little serenity. This is his vacation.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. He's kind of gone through all the motions at this point.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I'm thinking this is like 25, 26.
Yeah. This is like right before you take action again.
Uh-huh. Yeah. Like life's beating you down and you got to find your second wind and what you're going to do for the rest of your life or whatever.
It's pretty much like the bike pedals of life. Like you
So sad.
You gotta go up.
This
you know,
really-
I'm
this
ready,
really
I'm
is
ready,
an
I'm ready,
epic.
ready, not gonna work
This
out.
is an American epic.
Yeah.
This is like part of one chapter of our version of the Iliad.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like the American Iliad. This isn't the Iliad.
Well, I
This
mean, I
is
think
like,
it's more like the Wall. You know, like it's like our.
the
It's like
Wall's another chapter of the Iliad, though.
yeah, I guess.
You
Yeah,
know,
I know what you're. I know what you're
that's
saying.
what I'm
I know what you're
getting
saying.
at.
Yeah, yeah. But yeah, it's definitely like I know people are probably gonna scoff at that, like, oh, Green Day is not like as good as Pink Floyd, but like I mean, it is really like it's the similar, you know,
It's in a similar
anti-establishment and like shedding light on the, you know, the life that one lives and stuff.
They listen. Well, one thing you got to remember, and then we can go on, move on.
Yeah.
They listen to Pink Floyd. They
Oh,
grew
yeah,
up
you
on
can't
Pink
not
Floyd.
know
They're
Pink
not
Floyd, yeah.
insulting Pink Floyd. They are continuing
No, I'm talking
the
about
mission.
I'm talking about the people out there that are gonna think that, you know, they're gonna be.
I know, and
angry
I'm
about
standing up
comparing
for
the
your
two.
point. Like,
Yeah.
don't do that. That's not the point. Everything moves on.
Yeah,
Everything
yeah.
just keeps going.
Yeah, exactly. Bump that shit. All right. You guys want to do one more clip and then maybe take a break here? All right. So we're gonna leave you with the clip for "She's a Rebel," and this is where he meets the girl that turns things around for him.
From Chicago to Toronto, she's the one that they call, what's her name? She's a symbol of resistance, and she's holding on my heart like a hand grenade.
We'll be right back with the album concept hour. The album concept hour. All right, everybody, you just heard "She's a Rebel," which has the titular line for the American Idiot album, where she's holding onto his heart like a hand grenade. Yeah.
Boy, that is rough.
Yeah. So, yeah. It's because he's obviously got a lot of emotions that he's kind of trying to deal with and balance and stuff. And along comes what's her name? And
What's her name?
changes.
Gosh darn.
Susan.
She really just changes.
Barbara.
Changes everything.
Barbara?
No, I think her name's actually
Suburbia?
Gives him
Amanda.
new passion.
I think her name's actually Amanda.
Ashley.
Apparently, she's just so badass, though.
Yeah.
Ahsoka Tano.
Well, because he's been kind of like dabbling with
Communism.
Yeah, communism, activism, anti-war stuff, all that communist stuff, and she's like kind of this new resistance person in his life that is kind of
Princess Leia.
bringing back I guess a Princess Leia type. That's actually a very good one. So what's her name's Princess Leia? Just if you need to think of
She's
it that way.
badass.
Carrie Fisher.
Yeah.
She's dead.
Oh,
Come on, John.
Sorry.
no, that's very sad.
LOL.
Yeah, she's. I like that he says she's a rebel and she's a saint, like right after one another. Like he sees himself as a saint as well, but he immediately sees
For
her.
the cause, Brad.
Yeah.
It's for the cause.
But
for the
she's the
cause,
salt of
bro.
the earth, and she's dangerous.
Yes, just like him.
That's why he's attracted to it.
I think he sees a little bit of himself in her, and kind of their both of their like maybe fucked up pasts or something, But yeah, like he's I don't know. I think this song's kind of trying to like make the point that he almost doesn't know how to deal with her radical ideas in a way. You know what I mean? What do you guys think?
Like, see, yeah, I get that, but like, he loves her, so he's
Yeah,
gonna
yeah,
follow her.
Yeah.
But he still knows she'd go further than he would.
Yeah. Well,
It's like he knows that.
He says that she brings this liberation that I just can't define. You know what I mean? Like he sees something like that she's like really
He
onto
knows she can go
something,
over the
and he
edge.
wants to be a part of that. But he doesn't quite get what sets her apart. I guess. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
She's like the key to his rebellion.
Yeah, maybe the key to a
To his
more
rebellious side.
maybe a more focused rebellion, maybe, Whereas maybe
She
before when
actually
he
has
was
a cause
younger,
that she's going for, and
where like he was acting off of just like I'm mad at the system and I need to do something. She's like maybe
She's
more
more focused in
maybe
on it.
past that part, I guess.
yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, you know, he's really inspired by her. Like clearly. I really relate to this song because I know a lot of, you know, badass activist women, and they've been pretty inspirational when I've ran into them. So yeah, I really enjoyed this one.
Commie.
I'm a little bit of a commie. Yeah. I'll say it right here, but you can hear it on the other podcast, Little Guillotine podcast.
I believe in a
Plug.
lot of socialism stuff. So socialism is not bad.
Yeah, well, it's not, at least not a dirty word like it used to be.
Yes.
Next topic.
We have Salt of the Earth, dangerous. I don't know exactly what he means by the missing link on the brink of destruction. I feel like it's more just fun to say.
That she's almost to the
Well,
point.
I was gonna
being
say
that,
like
but
she's
not
kind of
quite
like
the destruction yet.
she's the missing link. She's what's gonna make this all like she's the
Maybe-
passion.
do
She's
you think the
advance
destruction-
and the passion.
Maybe the destruction of
the destruction of the current society. That's what he's looking for. Remember?
well,
That's
it
what he
maybe
still
it could be
wants.
that, but maybe it's also the destruction of Saint Jimmy too. You know what I mean? How that's like kind of got dual messages.
You know, I can see
Sometimes.
that. Like, she's so into the message, but at the same time, she's like, me and you, we can end St. Jimmy.
Yeah. You don't have to be angry. Join the light side of the Force.
Come to the light.
Because she's Princess Leia. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
She's not Sidious.
No. She's not Sidious. Although she could be Rey, where she's like, you know,
Palpatine.
related.
Let's not talk about Ray. I saw
Um,
the last movie. I'm not happy with the way the movie
Let's
ended.
not.
I haven't seen the last
That movie
one
was
yet.
dumb.
Anyway, the
Not
next song we have is Extraordinary Girl, and it gets kind of further into some of his feelings.
Some days it feels like dying. Some days it's not worth trying. Now that they're both are finding, she gets so sick of crying.
Oh, man. Like-
Extraordinary.
Extraordinary Girl. I like the instrumentals. in that one.
Extraordinary.
Is this where he's in love with what's her name?
This is
Yeah,
very
yeah,
much where
this
he's
is-
in love with
yeah,
what's her
yeah.
name.
He seems very.
That's
in
why
love
he's
with what's her
having these
name.
problems.
So
Yeah.
sick of crying.
See, like, that's an important line because
Yeah.
it's really showing that they're almost so alike now that they're clashing.
Mm-hmm.
They're alike, but they weren't alike, which is what helped cause the mutual attraction. But like now, their likenesses are like starting to just grind on each other.
Well, and it's saying like he lacks the courage in his mind, like a child left behind. So it's like kind of like he's also maybe coming to terms with his like, you know, messed up childhood.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Yeah.
and she's kind of bringing out that from him, maybe. I don't know, because they're both clearly in this, you know, song like not doing great, either of them. You know what I mean? Like she's crying, he's feels like dying. You know, so you know the relationship's not, you know, paradise right now.
I mean, he's trying to get rid of St. Jimmy, so he's going through. Stuff.
Yeah.
He doesn't want to get rid of that part of his life, but
Mm-hmm.
at the same time, he does.
Yeah. He doesn't want to
Especially
maybe
when
let
it's
go.
for the love of a woman, you know,
Uh-huh.
especially that kind of age, you know, it's just a lot of power.
Also, what I like about this song is it kind of reminds me of That Thing You Do. I mentioned that before, but like
Yes.
it has a very,
It's got
very
the very good pop feel.
like, you know, you doing that
That
thing.
thing
You know, like I
you
could see
do,
this song in the middle of
Breaking my
that
heart into
that soundtrack.
a million pieces.
But yeah, it's got the kind of like old school kind of like almost rockabilly sound, but it's also got that Egyptian thing.
It's mixed with it's very meant to sound like, you know,
Yeah.
Beatley feel.
Yeah.
Beatly.
And
Say that now.
Beatly feel.
yeah, so it's talking about let's see, she sees a mirror of herself, an image she wants to sell to anyone willing to buy. He steals the image in her kiss from her heart's apocalypse, from the one called What's Her Name. Oh man, that's a very emo
Very deep.
emo line right there.
It's deep.
Her heart's apocalypse. But yeah. So I mean, I think that she has some insecurities that she's dealing with too.
It's not a perfect relationship.
Yeah.
It's very fuel.
It's not like one
You know?
is like knows what's going on and one doesn't. It's like they're both kind of having problems, which is relatable.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, this is kind of there's not too much to I think say about this track because it's more of kind of expressing a feeling more than anything. But yeah, trouble in paradise. This next song is called Letter Bomb, and I think that is this where it kind of takes a little turn in the.
Yeah, I think this is kind of where his relationship starts with what's her name.
Yeah.
It's kind of
Letter
having
Bomb.
a fall with everything, Where have all the bastards gone? Where's everybody gone?
Everything is just terrible for him.
Everything's just it's not a good time.
No.
Time.
So here's Letter Bomb.
Especially the way it starts.
So he talks about Jesus Suburbia right in there.
Yep. I think that's part of the reason why we picked that clip.
Yeah. Yeah, you're not the Jesus of Suburbia. The Saint Jimmy is a figment of your father's rage and your mother's love. Made me the idiot America.
It goes back
That's
to the
such a
beginning.
hard
Remember
line.
when I was saying,
Yeah.
like, I'm a monster of rage and love or whatever.
Yeah, it is a callback to that.
And
Yeah.
then, like the Saint Jimmy is a figment of his father's rage, and that's why I was going through such a hard time with the what's her name, because he's trying to eliminate that rage and be more of the love side, and
Mm-hmm.
it wasn't working.
Well, it's kind of like that dynamic you have in some, I guess, American nuclear families. That's not just American, but, where your father is distant and, kind of the rule bringer, and then your mother is like the one that like gives you, all of the, attention and love that you need in, those kind of more traditional settings. And, it kind of, it creates a weird, like, dynamic and perspective in life because, you feel, towards men, you feel like, anxiety maybe because, your dad gave that to you. And then, maybe you're chasing that feeling from your mom.
Right.
But you're
holding on to that fear as well.
Yeah. It's very, complicated. But he's kind of, taking all of that, and distilling it into like one line here, Yeah.
He's really making you feel, especially with that first line.
Yeah.
He's really making you feel like the every American who is coming down from that high, like that.
Well, yeah, like coming
I'm
down
not
from
the
the
Jesus
American
of
dream or
suburbia.
whatever.
I try. But
Yeah, kind of accepting that he's not necessarily going to
Saint
change
Jimmy
the world.
was, Saint
like
Jimmy was a
he
dream, but
that
it's
thought he
never
was
going to
going
happen.
to. Yeah.
You know?
He's hitting the realization part of his life.
Mm-hmm.
I was
Where
part of the,
everything- where
even though I
everything's coming
tried
to a
to
head,
fight
you know?
the system,
Yeah.
I was
yeah.
part of idiot America.
Yeah. And what I like about that section that we picked is it's like it's not like it's different than the rest of the song. Like it's just a little section that like gets into like a little punk breakdown that like goes into that, kind of like a musical does, where it brings back like a section. Well, like this is very much like designed like a musical, and he turned it into a musical. But I just I like just how theatrical he set it all up to be.
You set it up to be a whole story.
Yeah, and he took a lot of really unconventional approaches that did not garnish them favors with some of their previous fans. Because they were all about like, oh, Green Day's sold out, making money now, and blah blah blah.
screw
Every
that.
band says that about a band that's like changing or progressing. You know?
Yep.
Yeah. I've kind of
Screw those guys. They're making money.
yeah.
Yeah.
I think that there maybe is like people that sell out, but I think for the most part that term is like kind of misused.
I don't really believe in sellout that much.
Yeah, I think
It's so,
generally
like,
you can definitely sell your soul for
you
a
gotta,
product or
you
something,
know,
but like I don't think
You
that
gotta make money.
I don't think by creating more art or whatever, like you're selling out because it's different. That's not fair to
It's not fair at all.
growing people.
You're adapting to the times and
Yeah.
what's fresh.
Yeah, you're not gonna make the same exact stuff forever.
People would get bored with that if you made the
Yeah.
same album.
Oh,
over
yeah.
and over.
Yeah, you can't really win because if you make the same thing, everyone's gonna be like, "Hey, what the fuck?" And then if you make different stuff that's too different, they'd be like, "Hey, what the fuck?"
Yeah. Right.
So you kind of just gotta make what you feel. So.
I actually heard an argument about that from the drummer from what was Chester's band?
Linkin Park.
Linkin Park.
Linkin Park. It was the
Yeah.
drummer from Linkin Park. He actually said that was part of their struggle. Was that
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
every time they got popular, they always said, "Fam, where's the real stuff?"
Yeah.
And they were like, "Well, we just did that. And you liked that."
Yeah.
They had a whole thing.
I was unfortunately one of those fans.
Yeah, I kind of felt like on that one they did like a
Yeah.
really hard 90-degree turn.
One
Yeah,
More Light
yeah.
was like
what the hell's this?
it was
like,
the
It was just it was shocking.
it was
for,
like an EDM
Uh-huh.
That
fucking.
was, I mean, with the I guess technically fourth album because they had Reanimation, like Minutes to Midnight. It started off pretty solid, but then they started getting into some weird stuff towards the end, and you're like,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And then they released the one after that. I can't remember what it was
One
called.
More
but
Light.
Yeah.
it was like almost EDM.
Uh-huh.
It totally changed.
Yeah. I wish that I wasn't so critical about it though when it came out.
Yeah.
Because obviously because of what happened, I'm feeling guilty. But like,
Yeah.
I think that that should be a lesson going forward for anyone. When it comes to how they interact with artists and stuff.
Right.
That they really hear what you say on the internet, and
The government killed him.
You have no secrets in
Do
it.
you know that conspiracy?
Is there a conspiracy on
It's
that?
actually kind of interesting.
Same with him.
Hmm.
Him and Chris Cornell, they were both involved in like
They did die pretty
sex-
close.
well, they were involved in a group exposing sexual predators in the Hollywood community.
Same guys that got Epstein, huh?
Mm-hmm.
I'm not joking.
I
I'm
know.
half joking, but
You're
like for
not.
real.
I know.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
anyways,
Yeah, we'll follow that thread next time.
Conspiracy hour.
I guess Google it, guys. Google it and let us
side
know.
project of the podcast.
Yeah. The album Conspiracy Hour.
Yeah. I love it.
Yeah, that'll be a side C. All right. But yeah, so this song, he's kind of I think it's the end of the relationship.
the
She's
outro,
leaving.
man.
She leaves. She leaves town, and she leaves him that very night. So, I don't know exactly what happened, but it seems like maybe they
Wasn't
just
good.
blew up on
Wasn't
each
good,
other.
Brad.
Huh?
Wasn't good, Brad.
No, it wasn't good. No, she left town. It's not over till you're underground. It's not over before it's not over before it's too late. The city's burning. It's not my burden. No, that's fun. It's not over before it's too late. That's an interesting line. The city's burning. It's not my burden. So he's like, I feel like he's saying like, I guess
He doesn't care.
he doesn't give a shit anymore. Maybe.
No, that's what the line is.
Yeah.
But it's not too late. It's not too late for us. Screw this town.
Yeah.
Let's leave. And she's like, nope.
Yeah,
I'm
and
leaving you.
she's sick of it. She's sick of the town and it not succeeding or whatever, and yeah, she's moving on. But yeah. By the way, there's a lot of covers of this album. I've noticed. I'm noticing on the right, like every song has a
Yeah, I've
cover.
been seeing that too.
Yeah. Well, a lot like Black Parade. There must be a lot of covers for that too. But also, speaking of Black Parade, this was I know we mentioned it in that episode, but this was produced by the same guy that produced Black Parade.
Who's
Chris Lord Alge.
Okay.
He's worked on like a lot of Blink-182 stuff.
Yeah.
All right, guys, it's Brad here for another correction. Chris Lord Alge was the mixer for The Black Parade and American Idiot, not the producer. The producer I was thinking of was Rob Cavallo. So they worked together, and furthermore, I think that I said the same thing on the My Chemical Romance episode, so that was wrong as well.
Seven Dust stuff.
He did some Seven Dust stuff? Yeah, he's done a lot. Yeah, I think him and his brother are like legendary producers in like just all sorts of rock stuff.
Cool.
Yeah. But I remember my bandmate talking about him and how cool he was.
Nice.
But yeah, and while we're off topic, what are y'all drinking tonight? Dave's not here, as you guys can tell, but we still drink.
Drinking Ice House Edge.
Ice
Got a
House.
little
Edge.
extra in it with it's basically just a beer.
Yeah. It's just similar, simple beer.
Tastes like dishwater.
What do you got, John G? What are you sipping on?
Lake Louis Warp Speed.
Warp
That's
Speed.
not Warp
Captain.
That's not. Oh, this is Tommy's Porter. I'm so used to seeing because I serve this all the time at the bar, and it looks. Yeah.
Warp Speed is the Lake Louis that I always go for.
Mm-hmm. I haven't had this one before, but it's tasty.
Yeah, I love Warp Speed though, but I
Me
can't.
too.
I don't drink it very often because it gets me so fucked up so fast.
The alcohol content's really high.
Launches you into warp speed.
It really does, man.
Yeah,
That shit's
you
that
two
shit's
beers
nuts.
and you're pretty fucked.
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely.
I know it's good.
Yeah. And what about you, Scott?
Well, I had one of those Iron Maiden beers. That was
Oh
pretty
yeah,
good.
that's right.
That was,
Yeah.
it was better than I expected.
Yeah. As heard on Seventh Son of the Seventh
I
Son.
had one of those Ice House Edges.
Yeah.
And on a scale of 1 to 10, I'd probably give it a 4.
Oof,
That's the
high.
Edge one.
That's high.
Yeah.
It's
Okay.
like
Okay.
It's like a
It
2.2.
was a little warm, so that didn't help.
Mm-hmm.
But
Yeah. Would you say
No,
it's
for
better
me-
or worse than like PBR?
Oh God. Please.
I mean, I haven't really ever been a big fan of PBR.
Okay.
But PBR is still better.
Okay. Well,
Switch it up there
Glaring
at the end.
review here.
PBR's a 7.
But
Ice House, not
this is
terrible.
unacceptable.
I could, I drank it. And,
Yeah.
I did the job.
It
but
did, yeah.
It wasn't.
Yeah.
It didn't kill me.
That's
It
good.
was
That's
actually
good.
rather smooth for being.
Yeah.
interesting,
Yeah. Your liver's intact.
And now here
That's
I am.
good. Yeah. Well, yeah, I was drinking on some of the Iron Maiden beer too. I finally found it in the foreign beers aisle in Woodman's,
Women's, yeah.
and I'm also drinking on my Hopalicious like I always am. So
Hopalicious.
yeah. So
Make those beers go
that
local.
and we're also sipping on a little bit of bong water. Yeah. But other than that,
It's delicious.
That's what we're
Lots
drinking.
of vitamins and minerals.
All right, that is what we
For
are all
delicious.
drinking for Dave.
What we're
Cheers to
drinking
Dave.
for Dave.
Cheers! Here's a cheers for Dave. Cheers.
Cheers
Click 'em,
to
guys.
Dave.
Click. All right, cool. We got the sound effect. All right, so we're gonna go on to the next track, and it is it's not the doozy I was thinking it is, but it is "Wake Me Up When September Ends."
That's a doozy.
It's a doozy, but the next one's a real doozy.
As my memory rests, but never forgets what I lost. Wake me up when September ends.
So I think when I go to bed tonight, I'm gonna say to you guys, "Wake me up when September ends," because I just need to sleep that long, just for fun. Need to catch up on some sleep,
Yeah, man, just wake me up like
So
next
on
year.
February 4th,
Next year
so that's,
sometime.
like,
Are you sure you don't want to wait till like?
Scott will be back in
You
September.
sure you don't want to wait till like
After a
November
nice,
ends?
long
Just
vacation.
sleep through the election, man. Sleep through the whole
I
thing.
Probably should.
Wait till November
Yeah.
ends this
Wake me
year.
up when.
Yeah.
Wake me up before Christmas, or no?
Yeah.
Wake
We'll
me
wake
up
you up
before
We'll wake you up
Thanksgiving.
right
You're
at
gonna be
Thanksgiving. How
hungry.
about that?
I'll wake
You're
up.
gonna
and
be
like,
hungry.
What the
That
hell
way you can
happened?
eat
All
all the
like,
turkey.
food would have been
Mhm.
sweet.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Yeah,
We'll wake you up mid-November. Yeah.
I'll do it.
So, all foolishness aside, though, we actually found out this song is not just about waking you up when September ends after the whole Bush masquerade.
So I actually have a story about this song before we get into it. So this is a song that I have, anyone that knows me and has heard it with me has heard me talk shit about this song. I've always had a issue with this song because of it's a really dumb thing, and he's using the 5th fret on the first chord and then an open chord, and I always held that against this song because it was just like, oh, it's like the notes that you play when you're like tuning or whatever. That's dumb. And then when we were doing research for this, I find out that this song is actually about his dad dying. Billy Joel Armstrong's dad dying, and when he was a kid of cancer. And so I've been spending many years making fun of this song, and I want to apologize to Billy Joe Armstrong for being a dick. But
Good job,
yeah. So yeah, I found out that what this song was about. I'm like, oh my god, that's horrible. But his dad died of I don't know how that's pronounced.
Esophageal, actually.
Esophageal cancer on September 1st, 1982. So like, that's when he was really he was 10 years old. And basically after his dad died, he was in his room, and the only thing he would say to his mom is, "Wake me up when September ends." And it's like just the saddest thing.
It's the most depressing thing ever.
That's
Yeah.
Didn't see that one.
Fuck you,
He,
Brad.
he actually was
Everyone feel very
had
sad
it
right
ready
now.
to release on their last album,
Uh-huh.
but he wasn't ready.
Yeah.
Which
That's
is why it came out for this one.
Well, he probably said,
But
"Wake
it's
me up when
really
September
sad,
ends,"
though.
and,
It's
that's why
so
they had to wait.
sad, though. Because, like, this album has this content that you don't even realize. And everybody's still, like, glued onto it because it was like, they were like, anti-Bush.
well, yeah.
Wake me up when this Bush
Well, yeah,
September
because that's the
ends.
thing about this song is it had like I've always only thought of it in that post 9/11 kind of mindset. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
With the whole album, I kind of did that with. You know what I mean? I was like, oh, how is this about 9/11? Yeah, no, I mean it works for both though. I think it is meant to do that, but like. I think that when you
It
heard it
wasn't
on the
meant
radio,
to.
you didn't
I feel
really you didn't know about the dad thing.
I feel like he showed it to somebody, and somebody showed it to some, producer, or, a promoter or agent, and they were like, "This is a really good song. We could like use this." When people hear this, they'll think September president, a real political statement. Well, that's not what it means, but it'll work.
Well,
And
yeah,
that's
if it was
and
all
that's-
of the
that would be part of
imagery and
the
tour stuff.
That would be
and-
part of how
yeah.
they could get it out. Like, it didn't even have to be written for the album.
Yeah,
It fits in so well with what
Uh-huh.
they're doing. They just put it right there,
Yeah,
and it works.
It is really interesting that it was written before the album
Yes.
because like most of the stuff for
That's
this album
why
is,
it's
like,
so surprising it works to me.
wasn't it thrown out? Like, weren't you telling me about a story about their tapes being stolen?
Yeah, no.
and, like-
It's so they had an album that they were gonna do that was like cigarettes and booze or something like
Cigarette
that.
and
Cigarettes,
boobs.
alcohol,
Cigarettes and boobs.
alcohol,
It's like a B-sides album.
and it was just their next effort that they were doing, and all of their master tapes were stolen and leaked, and they kind of like were like, well, what are we gonna do now? And they got it back, and then they were talking like to their producer, and the producer was like,
Chris Lord Alge.
well, do you really feel like that was your best work? And they didn't, so they just decided to start from scratch.
Yeah,
And that's
yeah.
how American Idiot came in.
Which is really cool to me. That's like again a producer doing their job like well.
The guy who actually deserves the money he's getting paid.
Well, yeah,
you know what I mean?
yeah,
Keep going. Let's go.
yeah. Give
What
him
are you
a
gonna
few
do?
slaps on the.
You
Hey,
want to just keep
hey,
going
come
with
on.
this crap, or
You
do
really
do
think that shit was your best shit?
No,
That shit was garbage.
no, fine.
Except for that
All right.
September one. That
Let's
September
hit the-
one was all right.
Let's hit the cutting board. Let's
Yeah.
get back to the scratch.
Yeah, and then they ended. Yeah, this is obviously their most renowned album. I mean, I know Dookie's like the one that everyone like that's like hardcore fans will talk about, but it's still an amazing album. He just wants us to wake him up when September ends. That's it. Yeah, don't worry. Yeah, I also noticed it had a line that we noticed. As my memory rests, but never forgets what I lost. Wake me up when September ends. And I don't know if this slogan was that popular yet. The whole never forget thing with 9/11.
Mm-hmm.
Like this is definitely. I think this is before the South Park episode made that phrase popular, but. Yeah, I don't know. It seems interesting that it's also in here.
Well, either way, it's a very good it's again something that can just be like translated into anything.
Yeah.
As my memory rests, but never forgets what I lost. Because after that time, we really felt like we lost an age of innocence that was just gone.
Yeah.
We could be attacked on our home soil. We could be affected.
Yeah. Yeah.
It made us all jumpy.
And let's see, becoming. Oh yeah, and drenched in my pain again, becoming who we are. That's a line I always like too. Like kind of becoming your adult self or whatever, and kind of dealing with all of the I don't know, all the different ideologies that you have to fight through and figure out. But anyway, we're gonna get on to the it's a really long track, but we had to pick a little section of it. But it is called Homecoming, right? Yes, it's called Homecoming. So everything things didn't work out with him and what's her name, and
everything's
he's
not
going back
working
home.
out. St. Jimmy's dead.
Yeah, St. Jimmy might be dead. Where'd you go? I just don't know. It's like it's been forever. No, right. Sorry. This is this song's got another song with like a bunch of parts to it. It's got 5 parts, and this is kind of cool because they gave each band member writes part of the song. So like there's a lot of stuff going on here, and they're really kind of having fun with writing.
Rock and Roll Girlfriend's the best one.
Rock and Roll Girlfriend's great. I really enjoy Rock and Roll Girlfriend. That
Mr. Cool was just like, I got nothing.
Trey Cool.
Yeah, right.
Trey Cool.
Trey Cool. Mr. Cool.
Mr. Cool.
Do you think that people call him Mr. Cool?
That'd be awesome.
No, there's the little mark over the E for a reason. It's Trey.
Trey Cool.
Trey.
Rock Cool.
But yeah, like they're like, so they each like write their own section or whatever, and then like Trey Cool's section is just like, oh yeah, I got a rock and roll band, I got a rock and roll life, like
rock and roll XY.
there's nothing about it that is
To me,
about American Idiot.
It's a Ramones song.
Yeah, it's like a little Ramones song.
It is.
In the middle of
Ooh,
this
little reminder that
like,
we're still
Rhapsody.
edgy punk.
But I just love just how much fun they're clearly having in this song,
Well, it's nice that they can express their creativity too.
Hey.
Like a lot of
I
Yeah,
haven't
yeah,
drank or
that's true.
smoked
they
nothing
don't
in
have
over
something like this
22
that they
days.
can give a
guys.
tribute to everyone in the band.
Yeah. Well, because like some bands, there's like too much ego to like do something like that, Like, and I think that's what, that's what they did with here is they kind of were experimenting. Like, all right, Billy Joe, you take like a slight backseat to just for this one. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Well, the whole like the album was really like their last couple albums. The other two guys were really starting to feel marginalized.
Yeah, I think that was part of what you were
And
saying.
and
yeah.
when they were like when this whole opportunity came up, they were starting to like jam again. and they were starting to like this album is really a team effort. You know, and
Yeah,
it shows.
yeah. Well, yeah, and I could
they
tell.
kind of found themselves.
I was gonna
again
say I
as a
could really
band.
tell even watching them like play and perform this stuff live, like how much they were enjoying themselves together. You know what I mean? Like they were really enjoying being on stage together and playing these songs. So yeah, I remember. Yeah, like I said, I was in the closet about it kind of, but like I do remember like staying up and watching them on like Conan or something. But let's talk a little bit about the themes in this one, though. It's starts with the death of Saint Jimmy is what part 1 is, and yeah, like we said, he's kind of like started to realize that maybe some of what he was into or maybe who he was not, I don't know, the best thing for him. So he's trying to, he's figuring stuff out.
He really sees that like it's done, and it's time to go home. That's kind of like the point of the ballad.
Yeah. There's no sign of hope. The stems and seeds and the last of the dope.
I'm on the last of it.
Yeah.
You really imagine him sitting in like some rugged down apartment building. He's just sitting there, rugged clothes, the last of his dope, trying to light it with like a match or some stupid shit.
Or he like spills his grinder in his carpet and like
and he's just like, damn it!
he can't smoke any of it because it's got hairs in it and stuff. And, yeah.
Fuck it.
But I really like how he kind of shows that like that's like his rock bottom is when he gets to like the stems and seeds. He's like, all right, guess I gotta get a job, and
it's really very prodigal son kind of.
Yeah.
Like modern like prodigal son story.
Yeah.
Then you come home, you're still accepted, but now you gotta go out and get 9 to 5.
Yeah. Well, and then it gets to the part where he's like, nobody cares, and he's kind of like, kind of lost faith in the, idealistic stuff he was into, and now he's like just doing the grind,
doing the 9 to 5,
yeah, and he doesn't feel like anyone cares about him, but he's doing it. He's he's keeping it going. So
he walks a lonely road.
He does.
Jesus filling out paperwork now.
Yeah.
At the facility
on East 12.
East 12.
Yeah. But yeah, this is the part where like, probably a lot of people are at where they're just kind of working day to day.
Somebody get me out of here.
Yeah. But yeah, he definitely doesn't want to be there. Like he's not like completely succumbed. Like he definitely doesn't feel comfortable there, It's kind of an Office Space scenario, I think.
Yes.
Yeah.
To get out of there at the end.
Yeah, definitely.
Don't worry, the next part, we fall asleep watching Spike TV.
Yeah, I was about to say, yeah, they mentioned Spike TV, which is a real throwback. Anyone that doesn't know, it's like overtly masculine programming with like James
1001 Ways to
Bond
Die.
and
Now owned by Paramount.
oh yeah,
True
okay.
story.
But yeah, it was just just the most adrenaline fueled like TV station. Anyway, but yeah, so he falls asleep watching Spike TV, and yeah, he's just doing the regular thing and just kind of, well, I guess to drink 10 cups of coffee at home
that's
isn't
a little
quite regular.
extreme.
It doesn't have the energy to continue on anymore.
Yeah, and maybe coffee is the only kind of thing that he does for
likes you.
an edge now,
Everyone
kind of like when you go to like AA meetings, like everyone's drinking coffee and smoking cigarettes.
Yeah.
Because like they can't.
Yeah, it's your only little buzz now.
Yeah. I think he's definitely like at that stage where maybe he's going to some meetings, trying to be better himself, but overall he's not very happy right now. So, but Rock and Roll Girlfriend, I really can't say how this fits in to the previous part.
Maybe he had a happy time with the 25 seconds with the.
Yeah.
They gave
a nice
him,
rock
they
and
gave
roll
him a window to
girlfriend who
do
really
something.
rocked
He
his
just-
world for a couple
Maybe,
months.
yeah, maybe this is what?
He's gloating.
Yeah. Well, maybe this is him like kind of like coming to terms with it, maybe becoming happy after a while and being like, all right, fuck it, dude. I'm just a punk. I'm gonna live this like working class punk life.
There you go.
Yeah. Maybe he found himself a rock and roll life. Maybe that's it. Maybe Jesus of Suburbia is Billy Joe Armstrong.
It totally is.
You ever think of that?
Maybe that's why the whole album exists.
Yeah.
But the next part, he's coming home.
He's coming home. And he's going back to the barrios. Back in the barrio.
Everybody's coming home.
Yeah.
Everybody
and,
that left thinking they can make a difference,
Yeah.
they're coming home with what they learned.
And apparently the term Jingletown comes from Oakland, California. It was a rising community of Chicano and Latino families displaced by West Oakland. So he's going back to his hometown. That's maybe not
They're
like
coming home again.
maybe not the most successful area, and maybe doesn't have the best economy stuff going, but he's going home.
And now we're on to the last song.
Yeah, we are down to the last song. Good transition. It's called What's Her Name?
She went away and then I took a different path. I remember the face, but I can't recall the name.
He
Yeah.
remembers what's her name now that he's finally starting to get his life together.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I do feel like this is a
And
very
that anxiety
calm
likes
song.
to creep up on you at the oddest times.
Well, I don't think that there is anxiety really in this song. I feel like this is like when he's maybe finally past his
Okay, you're
anxiety.
right.
This is
You're
like
right.
the peaceful ending that he
Yes.
was
Yeah, and now he's kind of like he can reflect on it without like
Without feeling the
yeah,
raw edge of those emotions.
yeah.
He's just taking
He's just
what he
wondering
can
now.
from it.
He's just wondering like, I wonder what she's up to. Yeah.
reminiscing on the good days.
Yeah.
Reminiscing on all the real warrior days of your past.
Mm-hmm.
You're just kind of
Yeah.
sitting there on your porch at the end,
Yeah.
at the end of it.
But yeah, that really like hits
Been
home
good
though.
times.
Like
Been good times, been bad times.
she went away, and then I took a different path. Like that's. I feel like that's a story for like if you have like friends from high school that you maybe faded away from. Like it's a real song that like hits
Tell
home.
the good parts, a little of the bad parts.
Yeah. Like
But you keep it
outside of
simple
just
to
like a
I
girl.
wonder what happened to that man.
Yeah. There's like there's still a couple of high school friends where I'm like, oh man, I really let that kind of fall by the wayside. Jeff. But yeah, you made a point to burn all of his photographs. He's recalling, I guess, what he did to like get over her, but now he's
It's a very nice, calm ending to the album.
yeah, definitely.
Especially when it starts with a punch in your face.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Really, literally.
Mhm. Yeah, and I think he says a line about not forgetting her in the other song, which is like ironic because she's referred to as "What's Her Name" the entire album.
That's what we were talking about, how you can kind of place yourself, because they never really name a name.
Mm-hmm.
You kind of put yourself in that shoe.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
the shoe that fits.
Yeah, like we said, like it's technically based on this girl Amanda, according to the story. But if it was how old Amanda has been, that's not as nearly as relatable.
No, that's why this song can be sung through the ages.
Yeah. I feel like this is a good bar song.
For sure.
Yeah.
This is a good song to play while
That's
you're
a
sitting
good-
at the bar,
That's a good way to look at it.
sitting alone, dwelling on the past. However sad or happy or somber.
No,
that
you
may
don't.
be.
You don't even have to see yourself as sitting like this.
Well, yeah,
You can
it's
see
just one
yourself
of-
as.
yeah,
I wonder how she's doing.
yeah, like no bitterness, just like
You know.
yeah.
Just,
Once
I'm
you've
happy.
gotten over the bitterness,
I'm
maybe
happy.
and there's enough
I'm
time.
happy about what I did. I can accept what I did.
Mm-hmm.
Everything's okay.
Yeah. So, yeah. And he even admits, like, she's in my head, I must confess, but the regrets are useless in my mind. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Like, he's kind of accepted that, like, it happened, it's over, and, like,
The regrets are
there's nothing you can
more
do
than
about it,
what you did and what you didn't do.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. But, hey, he's got a rock and roll girlfriend now, so
Mhm.
he's doing all right. He's got a rock and roll girlfriend back at the hometown.
That'd be awesome.
I feel like this is a pretty happy
He's
ending.
back in town with people that remember him.
Yeah.
Everything's okay.
Yeah, I know a lot of those folks.
And that, my
And he plays
friends,
the shit out of those drums too.
is the tale
Yeah.
of the American idiot.
That is the American idiot.
Cheers.
Come to a close. Cheers. Cheers, everyone that still has beers. All the cheers right there.
Cheers.
All right, well, that's another one in the books. And now we will go around the horn like we always do and find out what everyone has been listening to. What about you, Jon A?
No. I haven't been listening to much these days. Just my regular radio stations,
Yeah. That's
Yeah.
legit. That's legit. Yeah, I mean, we do ask like every week, so I mean, you can't be expected to constantly be switching it up.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, we finish every time.
Yes, I expect 3 new bands every week.
No.
But yeah, just been jamming on
Just
jamming
jamming
on the old good ones.
Jamming on the old good ones, listening to the little new ones.
Oh, by the way, quick plug though for our we finally have a Spotify playlist. So I mean,
Yeah.
by this point you've heard the Spotify playlist for months hopefully. But we have the first Spotify playlist, which is all of our desert island mixes. 3 songs from each of those albums, and it's a really nice, interesting, weird mix to get to know what each of us.
He
are
definitely
about.
went a little weird there.
I like it. I like how jarring it is sometimes. But yeah, we'll be coming out.
There's
with,
like 2 or 3 songs I wish you would have put on there. But other than that, you did a good job.
Yeah, for sure. But yeah, we'll be having more playlists coming out. We'll be going, every several albums we'll have playlists that go over the albums that we've been covering, as well as some of the what are we listening to stuff. So hopefully by now you've heard it, but if you haven't, look it up on Spotify. There's the album concept hour playlist number 1. So anyway, Jon,
It is an overall good playlist.
I'm enjoying it. Yeah. I mean, we're obviously all biased, but let us know what you think, guys. I really want to know what everyone thinks and start commenting on some stuff. All right, Jon G. Though, what have you been on lately?
Well, I've been listening to a bunch of different stuff, like LCD Sound System. I'm going through their whole discography,
Nice.
and a lot of Dispute.
Oh yeah, a lot of disputes.
Mhm.
I like that.
Damian Rice
Yeah.
and Peter Gabriel.
Oh, Peter Gabriel. All right. Nice.
A lot of weird, nothing common stuff, but yeah, that's kind of what it's been my most played right now.
Yeah. That's a pretty. Yeah, you've been on some like really like light emotional kind of.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. That's good stuff though. Like La Dispute is a band I saw in Cornerstone a long
I
time
know.
ago.
I wish I would have been there.
You reintroduced me to them. They're
know.
great. What about you, Scott? What have you been jamming on lately?
I've been kind of on the same old thing too, just kind of Megadeth and Hell Yeah and some of the stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
Just
Nice.
Some of the old stuff that I like.
Yeah, Megadeth's like the next thing I need to dive into because I've dived in a lot of Iron Maiden, but Megadeth I think is like kind of in a similar vein.
Yeah, they're kind of symphonic rock in a way,
Mm-hmm.
or the symphonic metal,
Okay.
but not like to the
Like
extreme.
Devin Townsend kind of?
Not to the extreme most people would think, but a little bit.
Yeah. Nice. I'll have to check that out. As for me, I've been listening to a lot of I've been going Queensryche we went over, so I've been jamming on that a bit.
Oh, yeah.
King Gizzard and the Lizard Wizard. I listened to
I think they have a show coming up.
yeah, they do. I need to go to it. But they have an album called Murder of the Universe that I listened to recently. I think it might be my next pick. But it's a really great trippy concept album. I can't describe it. It's a weird fucking album. But yeah, just check out King Gizzard in general. But Also, I've been listening to, it's not music, but I've been listening to a lot of Hollywood Handbook. It's a good podcast to check out. And I've been also playing, this isn't music or anything else, but I've been playing a bunch of Black Ops Zombies for the last 3 days.
Oh, yeah.
So that doesn't have much to do with anything, but like I'm fucking enjoying the shit out of it. But other than that, as far as plugs for me go, season 2 of Rolling Stone is out, and there should be a good 3 or 4 episodes out, hopefully, by the time this comes out. And, check back for Hero Worship and the Little Guillotine podcast if you want to hear more from me. But yeah, that's all I got tonight, guys.
that was a good night.
Yeah, no, it was nice going back on American
Nice
Idiot.
roller coaster of nostalgia.
Yeah. This felt very, very similar to like Black Parade for me. It was very much like a trip down memory road. So
Throwback
I
night.
can't wait to do the Dixie Chicks.
yeah.
It's actually
the
around
Dixie
the
Chicks.
same era too,
Mhm.
with very similar issues. So.
Yeah. Well, actually, next week we are going to be having a very special guest. Jake the Snake on the Lake is coming in, and he's going to be doing Band on the Run with us by Paul McCartney and the Wings. So, stay tuned to that on episode 13. And see you next time. Thanks for listening. The Album Concept Hour is Brad LeBaron, Dave Gallagher, Jon A, and John Griffith. Special thanks to King Gizzard and the Lizard Wizard for the theme music. Please like us on Facebook or friend us on Twitter or MySpace and let us know what concept album you would like to hear on the podcast. See you on Side B. This has been a Revolver Audio production. Executive producer Brad LeBaron. For more podcasts, visit soundcloud.com/revolveraudio, or to support new content, visit ko-fi.com/revolveraudio. Revolver.